Welcome back. So coming up, I will unveil yet another lie in the Chancellor's budget. But first, the Justice Secretary, David Lammy, has been warned that his decision to scrap jury trials in all but the most serious cases could lead to devastating miscarriages of justice. Under these proposals, jury trials for crimes in England and Wales that are likely to result in sentences of less than 3 years will be scrapped, and judges will instead rule on those cases. But top lawyers have warned, of course, that this will lead to errors. Now, take a look at Jamie Michael. He's a 46-year-old former Royal Marine. His life was turned upside down, and he was hauled through the courts simply for posting a social media video criticising the Labour government and immigration policy in the aftermath of the Southport massacre.
And I warned that this type of thing was going to start happening. We, as a community, should not let any of these type people into our valley, OK? We shouldn't let any of these migrants who've just come into the country, OK, settle here in the valleys.
But it took a jury of his peers just 17 minutes to acquit him of racial hatred. Part of me is quite surprised it took them that long, actually. But it's a scary thought, isn't it? What would have happened if his case went straight to a left-wing judge? Well, joining me now is Jamie Michael himself. Jamie, thank you very much. Tremendous to see you, mate. Great to see you keeping well. So, do you think he'd be in prison now if it wasn't for a jury, possibly?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Just on my experience with the first two judges, even the first judge in the magistrates' court wouldn't even let me speak because there was errors. The name of my video was "This is what I think," and they put it down as "This is what I believe," and I put my hand up to say that was wrong. And there was also errors on the transcript as well, and the transcript read that I started a riot en masse, where I said they started a riot en masse. And the actual video, my actual video that was in the portal for the evidence wouldn't work. It was buffering all the time. So they were going off a transcript that was incorrect. And actually in that transcript, it said that I had started a riot en masse. And then, sorry, and then the judge wouldn't let me speak to kind of correct any of that, and told me this wasn't a place for me to speak, and then remanded me in jail. So I just really didn't have
nuts. I mean, it's nuts. I mean, obviously, I can kind of like smirk about it a bit now because you're out and about and you're found not guilty and all of that. But I mean, honestly, so when you see this plan now to scrap jury trials in all but the most serious cases, how do you feel about that? Are you concerned about it?
I just think it's just another way of them taking our rights away again. They're trying to chip away at our free speech with all this hate crime nonsense, and that's probably half the reason why a lot of these cases are stacking up. I mean, they're just ridiculous. People shouldn't be in jail for what they say, unless they making direct threats to kill and stuff like that, which I didn't. I was just basically trying to call for security on schools and parks after what happened in
Southport, yeah.
Southport incident, yeah.
And just on this, I mean, apart from the obvious, which is that you would currently be in prison, but how else would it have impacted your life? You know, I mean, presumably, once you've got a criminal record and you've been behind bars for a bit, I mean, that would have had knock-on effects to your life, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, I could have lost my house. My little girl's mental health would have been wrecked. In the 3 weeks I was in prison, she's autistic, and I've never been away from her for more than a couple of days. And my parents live away, and we we look after each other, really. Me, my missus, and my little girl. I got two little girls, but my youngest is autistic, and we haven't really got that much help. So taking me away really meant a big difference. And that would have meant my missus having to survive on her own as well, paying all the bills and paying the mortgage and everything else. And like I said, we probably would have lost our house. And my little girl, I think it would have really kind of destroyed her. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's just ridiculous. It's scary, really, and I think it's just another attack on free speech, because we know the majority of these cases have been even people have been found guilty have been under 3 years. So that's the kind of people they're going to be targeting. It's just another attack on free speech, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, quite. I mean, it is worth mentioning as well, and this has been reported before, and you mentioned this last time I interviewed you. I don't want you to name any names here at all, but you were actually reported to the police by a Labour member of staff, weren't you?
Yeah. Am I allowed to say a name? Because I don't mind saying.
I'd probably prefer it if you didn't. But I mean, the point I'm trying to get at there is that basically you were reported to police by a member of a political party, and that political party is now the same party that wants to do away with jewellery trials, like in the case that you would have been heard and you would have been banged up behind bars. And that, I think, many people would regard as a political prosecution of someone who has actually served our country with dignity as a former Royal Marine. So, I mean, it doesn't really get any more tied up in a neat little bow than that, to be honest with you, Jamie. Just very, very quickly and very finally, your message to David Lammy on this, then. Do you want us to change his mind?
Yeah, I just think, who does he think he is? You know, he's taking people's rights away. Like I said, if it wasn't for me having a jury trial, I probably would have been in jail because, you know, there are some... We know now that there is, you know, two-tier justice going on as well as the two-tier policing. And if that's all you need is a woke leftist judge planted in front of you for if you've done anything wrong, and then you're in trouble.
You're banged up. Jamie, look, thank you. Great to see you. All right, mate. Take care. Jamie Michael there. Right, I just will say that obviously David Lammy's view on this is that we need to clear the backlog somehow and that the Tories let the justice system go to rack and ruin, and that's why we need to do all of this stuff. But
we're living in a time of what feels like pretty significant social change, and it makes us question things that we've even taken for granted for decades. And one of those at the moment that people are wondering about is actually money. Is the money in your bank account safe? Should you be investing elsewhere? Are we looking at a potential global crash? What will it mean for your savings? Is there a way that you could be using your money that might be outside of government control even? Well, TallyMoney is potentially one solution. So I'm delighted to say that I'm joined today by the CEO and founder of TallyMoney, Cameron Parry. What is TallyMoney?
Well, at TallyMoney, you basically get gold you can spend. So we give people an individual account in their name, everyday account. They get a sort code, an account number. They use that account just like they would pounds from their bank, but it's milligrams of gold that we brand as Tally.
Okay. Why would you do that, though? What is the benefit to the customer instead of just having a normal pound sterling account?
Gold's performance against the pound is above 11% per annum over the last 25 years on average. But we still need money in our daily lives, and we have savings. We know that it's good common sense and prudent to save up for things, not just living credit. You know, whether it's a holiday or a rainy day, your retirement planning, you need to have money in your life, basically, that you can rely on, that's dependable, that nobody meddles with, that nobody can weaponise against you, which is another element of government control when it's the government currency, which we could talk about another time. And it should be pretty simple and straightforward, and that's what we deliver at Tally. And really, we just want people to feel safe and happy with their money. There was a time when the bigger your bank balance, the more confident you felt. Now it's like, I need to do something with it. I can't leave it there. In Tally, you can.
Okay, brilliant. Cameron Parry from TallyMoney, thank you so much.
Thank you, Bev.
Let's focus on facial ID recognition. So, police will be given access to Britain's passport database to catch criminals under an expansion of facial recognition technology that could be deployed in every city, town and village. This is ridiculous.
Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, where to begin? I mean, this is building a haystack to look for a needle, basically. If it's access to the passport database, a very good number of the people we're looking for do not have British passports.
Yes.
You know, so I would think, I don't have the exact statistics, that you're very often looking for people who are not on the passport database. There will be a big problem there. And it's just, I hate it when our policing authorities decide to cast the net incredibly wide rather than get focused on where the problem is. So I think this is largely a displacement activity. It is, I mean, you know, I know people sometimes overplay the Orwell Big Brother thing, but this is Big Brother who is watching you. That the state will be able to monitor all of your movements, potentially, especially as AI becomes stronger and better. And I do not sufficiently trust the state to ensure that this data will always be used for benign purposes.
Let me read some more of this. Labour is proposing that police could compare photos of crime suspects from CCTV, doorbells and dash cams against those on government databases, including the passports of 45 million Brits. The plans are part of a Home Office consultation launched today to establish a legal framework for all police forces to use facial recognition technology to catch criminals. Adam, are you worried about this?
It's a very dystopian future that we're looking at for us and our children. I've worked with Silky of Big Brother Watch through the Together Declaration, and look, it just seems like our freedoms are being eroded every inch. Now, if you're a criminal, yes, you're going to be worried about this, but the majority of people in this country are not criminals. Now, if they're going to match this, as you say, against passport photos, what happens to all the people that have come across on a dinghy and thrown their passports in the channel?
Yeah.
I feel like it could add two-tier policing to another level. You know, some of us are going to be on a database, some of us are not, and I do not trust them not to abuse it
as well. So just think about this. You know, inconceivably in a few years, whenever they get round to doing this, if that, you would have a digital ID. Your passport photo would be stored and available for every single police force in the country, and every single town, city and village will have facial recognition cameras to be able to track you. I don't think I want to live like that, really, Nina.
Well, it does seem a slippery slope, doesn't it? But, Adam, really, if we're talking about illegal migrants, they're a drop in the ocean compared to the entire population of this country. So that's hardly...
They're also committing a lot of crimes in a lot of towns,
Yes,
Nina.
yes, we understand that, but there are a lot more people committing a lot more crimes, and we shouldn't just ignore those, because if we concentrate on migrants and the crimes they commit, then we do a disservice to the victims, vastly more victims of the others.
It says here that from Big Brother Watch, this will turn the UK into an open prison. Mugshots for a giant surveillance database, putting the British public at risk of misidentification and injustice. You know, there is at least, I think, despite the fact that we know the CCTV everywhere, and I appreciate the irony of me talking to you from literally in front of a camera at the moment. However, there is at least the semblance, I think, that when you leave your front door, you're not currently clocked on a facial recognition camera as you go to Tesco's. But
yeah, that's exactly right. So, I mean, I've got some worries about how CCTV has been misused, but it's at least retrospective, right? So you kind of say, oh, we now know a crime happened at 6:45 p.m. in this area. Let's look through the camera work. This stuff will potentially be able to track the movements of everyone with a British passport anywhere in the country in real time. That's what the state will be able to do if this comes on screen.
But it's just like, you know, I talk about Starmer and I'm against the government. They can turn around live in motion and say, look, he's just about to go in Tesco's.
Yeah, well...
That's dangerous.
Yeah, well, yeah, as long as you don't nick anything there, mate.
No.
You're bound for rights.